What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome to the first build video of many for Wolong Fallen Dynasty, and this is my Blazing Spellsword Fire build. Now, the reason I'm calling it a Spellsword is because fire is actually designed around doing martial arts and constant attacking, but I really wanted to pull from wizardry, and so this is primarily a wizardry-focused build. We are able to pump out immense amounts of damage while still being able to do tons and tons of melee damage, rocking both the halberd and the double halberd. So this is actually a wizardry challenge mission that you can do pretty much as soon as you hit the hub. Just a couple basic enemies, and I figured this would be a good warm-up to show you what the build can do. Heard you coming up behind me, thought you were slick. That's one dead croc. So, let's head on back to town and talk about the build. Now, fun fact, I'm actually about 10 levels lower than I should be for this mission. So, yeah, we are doing just fine. But hopping back on over to the Hidden Village. So, as I mentioned, of course, this is a fire build, and as such, fire is going to be our primary stat. As for our secondary stats, we chose Earth because it is the counter to fire's counter. Basically, water is the one real weakness of this build. Going up against a water enemy is where this build would struggle. So, what counters water? Earth. So we've made Earth our secondary scaling stat. Besides that, we made wood our tertiary scaling simply because we're going to get spirit defense and we're going to get health from it, so it's just a solid stat to have. Initially, I had actually left wood with this build really low and started pumping fire even higher, because eventually fire should go all the way up to 99, but I decided it would be worthwhile to get wood higher, get it up to about 30, just to really pull from the health gains from it and give the build a tankier quality. Now, as for metal, we have this up at 10 because it's the first soft cap for spirit sustainability. So spirit sustainability sees a very steep drop off after 10, and it is good to have some. On top of that, having 10 allows us to do things like Wife Wither. And lastly, of course, water, we have nothing, but I'm not really worried about any of the stuff that is in water. As for continuing to level this, honestly, moving forward, I'll probably get wood up a little bit higher, like I said, but eventually this is going to be up at 99, and then these two would probably be around 50 each. I don't know what the levels cap out at, or what if this game will even have a meta level. I mean, in Nioh, it was just keep leveling. So these are the three you would focus on for the build: primary, secondary, tertiary. So going on into our wizardry spells for this build, we have three primaries that you're going to want to have on: Fiend Vanquisher, Engulfing Inferno, and Blasting Flare. Blasting Flare is going to be your main go-to. This spell is good at the start of the game, it's good at the end of the game. It's fast, it deals respectable damage, it deals respectable spirit damage, which is probably the best thing about this. Like, if I'm fighting something and it's almost spirit broke but not quite, usually one Blasting Flare is going to finish the job. And it comes out so incredibly fast that it's honestly hard to pass up on this skill. It's one of my favorite. Moving on from there, Engulfing Inferno. I tried a lot of fire spells, and ultimately I found Engulfing Inferno to be the best nuke. And there's two really nice things here. One, it's a 7 morale, meaning you can start using it pretty early in the level, and the other is it's a pretty fast cast. As you saw in that little demonstration there, I'm able to rapidly throw these down, stacking 3, 4, even 5 of them if I have enough spirit, and that allows this to put out huge damage numbers. As for our earth spell, we're working with Fiend Vanquisher, which is just very solid. Honestly, the only downside of this move is sometimes you'll pop off enemies and run right past them, but otherwise this has really good stun lock potential. It has really good earth buildup, and the main reason to even have an earth spell on is if we go up against a water target, something like a mermaid, I could certainly kill it with Engulfing Inferno, but it's going to be way easier to just throw this out and demolish it. Our last slot is our flex slot, and this is where we're going to have our buff. If you're comfortable with it, amplified damage allows you to deal 50% more, but take 50% more. Some alternatives to this that I have had decent luck with over in the wood tree, there's quite a few that are really good. Inner Breath obviously is going to give you Divine Beast faster, which is solid. Once we get up at 20, you could consider Focus Zone, but I usually find myself moving around a lot in fights. Spirit Fervor is obviously great, but we have a lot of spirit gain, so you're probably not going to need that one. And then Absorb Vitality is an extremely safe bet. Putting this on and getting a critical blow, which this build gets them constantly, every time you do that, you're healing up a third of your health. So you really can't go wrong with Absorb Vitality. If you want something on the tankier side, obviously we have Enhanced Defense, Quake Bound, stuff like Rock Toughness to preserve your morale rank. Or of course, we do have enough metal where we could go for Life Wither and just cause the enemy to take war. Slightly safer variant to amplify damage. But moving on from there, let's talk about the gear for the build. So this is actually the full Sensei set. So it's going to be very easy for you to kind of start this build up yourselves. Looking on over the equipment, we have the Tiger Fang dual halberds and then the Young Conqueror's gear pretty much just across. This is a very solid set. It's going to be A in agility, it's lightweight, so it's very easy. I mean, you can see my weight threshold is 10.5% because we made earth a secondary, which seems a little bit silly, but whatever. I'm not terribly worried about weight here. But still, a pretty solid set, and the set bonus of it, we're going to get spirit gain from normal attacks, damage received while attacking is down. Hopefully, we're never getting hit. We have damage amplification after we after we deflect a critical blow, and then we have dual halberd damage, making those a little bit tankier. Now, one of the things that I really like about this set is it already has damage amplification on enemy upon deflecting a critical blow. So over on the gloves, I've put on damage reduction upon deflecting a critical blow. So basically, anytime we deflect a critical blow, we're getting a defensive buff and an offensive buff in one action, which is really nice. And then over on the helm, power gain upon fatal strike, of course. So we deflect the critical blow, we get a damage buff, we get a defensive buff, and then when we do our fatal strike, we're getting a power gain. But so to look at the weapons in particular and what we went with here, for now, there's a couple different things I'd like to swap onto this. Just kind of, well, I'm out of copper, so I don't want to pay. But for now, we have Spirit Gain normal attacks on here, and then Damage Bonus Light Equip Load. Now, I was thinking about putting Flame Enchant on this, but honestly, we do such a good job at already building up burn. I'm not sure if it's going to be necessary. So Damage Bonus Light Equip Load seemed like a decent alternative. Keep in mind, those affixes that have that little, that 5-path symbol, those are single use. So it's really going to be whatever you can find on here. But Spirit Gain from normal attacks is a pretty safe bet, and Flame Attack Power is a pretty safe bet. As for our melee number 2, we are working with Lu Bu's weapon, the Sky Piercing Halberd. This is a primary fire scaling halberd, which is fantastic. We're not really pulling from the secondary scaling at all, but we are a little bit from Earth. And even then, I mean, it's going to do all right. But it's just a fun weapon. You know, most of the time I'm going to be working with Tiger Fang, but I like this. I really like it. And I was like, hey, it's Lu Bu's, and oh, hey, it's fire scaling. So I slapped it on and it works. Of course, we put Halbert's spirit damage on there, spirit gain, and then flame attack power, just allowing us to, I find this good when I'm fighting against yokai, to really kind of just try to push more spirit damage into them. Of course, we are picking up the 2-piece set bonus of that, giving us just a little bit of health, which is nice, but certainly not necessary. Because of that, we do have his bow, the Flying General's bow. And this is a scaling bow, whereas most of the bow weapons you're going to find are not. You know, tiger hunting, coming from that particular set, is of course metal. Most bows are going to be water, but this bow works out. Lu Bu being, as you can probably guess, fire attuned, is going to give us a fire scaling bow. Now, I'm not sure if bows function the same way they did in Nioh, but just in case it does, I just put good perks on there. So luck gain, or luck, spirit gain, flame attack power, just stuff that's going to be good no matter what. Our bamboo repeating, we don't really use this thing that much. I mean, damage reduction upon ranged attack is on there. I should probably pull that off. This just kind of exists, you know, just we don't really use it. It's just there. Besides that, across the board on the gear, you'll notice spirit gain from normal attacks, flame damage, flame attack power. Now, I haven't done the math. I haven't gone super in-depth to see how valuable flame attack power is, but that 4th special effect, honestly, there's not much you can put on there. You can put on like attack, you can put on, it's very basic. I think, let me see how much money I have. We might be able to do some minor embed. Yeah, I think we can. So going on over to it, you know, the flame attack power, this category just isn't very good. You know, it's kind of HP, spirit sustain, stealth, the attack powers. You could go for a resistance type stat, so damage received, but I mean, even 4 pieces of that, I'm getting like 7% damage received, and this is already a agility. So if I get hit, I'm getting chunked. So if you want to go for a defensive stat, you certainly could. We already have burns accumulation on, and then there's like positive and negative effect duration. There is some useful utility type stuff you could put on this stuff like marking flag location, enemy location. Divine Beast gauge gain is another one that I considered that I thought might be good, but honestly, this is a fire build, so why not? Flame attack power. It's giving us more flame damage and more status effect accumulation. Obviously, flame damage is what we went for. For a while, I was running the build with wizardry damage, which of course also helps Earth, but 95% use cases, I'm going to be doing flame. And then on top of that, we have some nice flame coming in with Prancing Dragon on this. If we're in high spirit, this is going to wreathe the weapon in flames and also throw out a trail of flames, which is going to do damage. So all things considered, I figured flame damage and flame attack power was going to be the way to go. As for accessories, honestly, it's whatever you can get. Like, I like this one a lot. Damage received, spirit attack, spirit damage, divine beast gauge gain. I mean, obviously I don't need chill accumulation, but we can't change these things around. So whatever you find, slap it on in there. Some other things besides that, I mean, honestly, that's kind of it. It works really well. We have insane spirit gain rate on this build between our investment in fire and obviously the spirit that we have on our gear itself. And I think that's what makes this so fun to play, is we are able to just put out immense amounts of pressure on enemies, just lock them on down and just be like boom, 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 just damage. And they can't do anything about it. They like give up. But yeah, we'll knock out a couple side quests here. We're going to keep things all super early. You know, this is very non-spoiler type territory since the game just came out. You know, first mission, second mission type stuff. And yeah, we're going to show you what it can do. It's just, I'm sorry. It comes out so fast. I know people are gonna be like, wait, what? What is happening right now? What did he just do? I mean, I did say, man, this build is all about speed and aggression. Oh god, I've never actually seen that. Oh man. I honestly don't need to kill all these enemies. I can just run around and grab morale flags and go for the boss. In theory, I could probably just take down the boss without the morale flag, but you know, the last thing I want to do is get overly ballsy on my first build video and then fall flat on my face. Are y'all running for me? Yeah, fire, man. So good. It's an opener, it's a finisher, it's... You want damage? Fire's gonna do it. Boom, right there. See the perfect example. You're almost there. Just doing that fire was enough to push him to the limit, finish him off. See something real fast. This has been an ongoing problem, and they really need to fix this. Yeah, no, ambient occlusion is still off. That damn flicker is the most obnoxious thing. Really hope it gets fixed sooner rather than later. This is the high spirit I was talking about. Yeah, pretty cool. It's pretty much like a discount burning flame wave, but I think it works out pretty well. Go for the 18, I guess. No, both sides. Both sides going for the kill. I'm back into the toxin. Trying to put him into a corner. Hosai does not want to die, dude. Down he goes. My man was not giving up. He was ready to fight until the very end. Yeah, but that just shoving people into the corner. I probably could have killed him faster with the one move that we have on the dual halberds, but I wanted to just shove him in a corner because it's funny. So a couple things to cover before we wrap up on this. I didn't get to touch on the Divine Beast, which is to talk about our choice there real fast. So we are working with the Wizardry Divine Beast. Like I said, this is, at the end of the day, for me, this is primarily a wizardry build. So Tengshi, Spirit damage to enemies with negative effects, so obviously lots of spirit damage on top of the burn. Wizardry spell damage is higher, and then more effect accumulation helping our burn. But what I really like about Tengshi a lot is the multitude of statuses that it applies. I feel like it just really locks stuff down. It you know, just gives us an even bigger opportunity to push out more fire damage. Zaizi is not bad if you really want to focus the martial arts and not the wizardry. Obviously, awesome choice for that there. And then Zunkei, another decent one here with the fire phase consumption and, you know, power gain on martial arts and whatnot. But to be honest, I wasn't really that worried. I feel like 3 to 6% on spirit consumption isn't going to be worth it compared to the 5 to 10% damage I'm going to do to enemies that have burn already on them. So I personally like Tengshi, but you know, I think at the end of the day, these aren't going to be as important to the build as they were in Nioh. Like, these passives are rather minor. I think it's more just going to be you use one that you really like. And here at least I find the poison and the multi-status that I get from Tengshi to be super valuable. The other thing I want to talk about briefly, which I kind of did him a little bit there. So Thorncleave, you get bonus damage and poise if you're in positive spirit, which is good. At the same time, this isn't going to be like a water swords type thing from Nioh. You're not going to just absolutely chop through an enemy's health. Maybe if you went full martial arts build, you could, but with this particular variant, you're not going to be able to. The other one, Vine's Grasp, this thing shreds humans. It locks them and it rips them in. It's going to absolutely devastate Key. Highly recommend using it. It looks bland. It's super good. And then over on... my Sky Piercer, come back. Over on Sky Piercing, Prancing Dragon we already showed. That's going to give you the fire, which is great. And then Dragon Flash is just a solid go-to damage dealer. Comes out really fast, poke stuff, low spirit cost, can't really go wrong with it. But either way, that's going to wrap things up. This is it's a lot of fun to play. This, I think I transitioned to this build in the Let's Play probably around, God, I don't know, about halfway through. Whenever I got Sunsei's armor. And this took me all the way through the end. It got through even bosses that were resistant to fire. It was tearing them on up. And I think what I like the most about this is not only is it crazy effective, but it's super approachable. Like, literally, get Sunsei as a follower, pump the cups into him to get him to 10. He's going to hand you the gear and the halberds, and then boom, baby. You're ready to hit the ground running and start clapping some cheeks. So either way, thanks for coming on by. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the build. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm sure there's some things I could do better. And in fact, actually one set that I already know, the Heishan Champion. Looking at the effect on this set, the Principle of Wan Shi, use a wizardry spell, and while you have a stack, it's going to reduce. The idea is I would do martial arts, and then I could triple cast wizardry. That sounds like the perfect go-to set from this. The only problem is to farm that set, it's the final mission, it's the final boss. I have to just keep running the final mission over and over again, which, yeah, that's a heavy lift. That's a heavy lift to get a set. So I'm hoping that when I get up there on New Game Plus, they just like give you a full 4-star version of the set or something. But yeah, that if you can get a full Heishan Champion set, the Grace of Wan Tizun, the pure one, that would absolutely clap cheeks with the playstyle of this build. But either way, that's the final food for thought there. So thanks for tuning on in. I'll catch y'all next time.